In this video, we'll be covering Chapter 12, Section 2, the measures of central tendency. We'll be talking about 4 types in this section, okay? The first type is going to be our mean. The mean is the sum of data items divided by the number, okay? This is also called our average. This is represented by the symbol X bar is equal to the summation of all your values, x's, divided by the number of values you have. In this example, we are going to find the mean, which is X bar, of the following data. Here you have all of them. All we're going to do is add them all up and then divide it by the number. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we divide it by 10. The rest of it needs just to go into the calculator. Okay. There's a few ways that I'm going to show you on this video how to use your calculator if you're using the one that I have. Okay. If you don't, you can always just enter the information as you see it. I am going to use the parentheses for everything that's in the numerator, and I'm just going to type in the numbers. 92 plus 84 plus 84 plus 80 plus 78 plus 77 plus 77, 77, 75, and 75. So enter everything in and then divide it by 10. Here, our average came out to 79.9. Okay. Another way we can do it is by using the statistics feature on your calculator. Okay. In order to do that, we're going to hit the second key first, and then we're going to hit this data, which is right here. Okay. It will put us in that stat mode. Once you get to the screen, you're going to choose the one variable. We will never be using 2 variables here. When you press enter, you should see the stat in the very bottom. Now we're going to enter in our data. The data button is right here, and you will see these symbols like X1 and X2. That represents each one of these data points. Okay. The second part is going to be the frequency. Let's go ahead and start with the first data point. I'm going to enter 92, and I'm going to press the down arrow. So we're going to go down, and it'll ask you, how many of 92s do you have? Well, I only have 1, so I'm going to leave it at 1. Continue pressing the down arrow. Our next value here is 84, so I'm going to put 84 here, press the down, and I'm going to count how many 84s do I have. Well, I only have 2, so I'm going to press 2. X3, this is going to be our next number, which is going to be 80. We only have 1, so I'm going to leave the frequency set at 1. Our next data point is 78, so I'm going to put 78, and we only have 1, so I'm going to leave it at 1. For 77, we have a frequency of 3, so I'm going to go ahead and put 3. And our last data point is going to be 75, and I'm going to put that we have 2 of those. Okay. Once you have the frequencies completed, you're going to hit this stat bar here, which is located right here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. It said calculate, and then here we can go through our computed data. So our N is the 10. That is the number of data points we entered. You always want to make sure that that's correct in case you entered in a wrong number. The X bar refers to your mean. Okay. The other variables that you will see here, we will not be discussing, so you don't need to worry about that. On this problem, we're given the data in a form of a table. Here are our individual values, and again, this is the frequency. When you're doing it like this, what you could do is go ahead and add up the number going across a frequency. We have 3, 4, 4, and 1. This is going to be 7. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 1 is 12. So that's where I got my 12 from. When you're entering the top in the calculator without doing the statistics mode, you want to make sure you do 30 3 times. So you can add 33 times, or you can go ahead and multiply that by 3. Okay. Then I'm going to do plus, I'm going to do 33 times 4 plus 40 times 4 plus 50 times 1. Okay, when we press enter, remember that's giving us the summation, the total of the top number. We still need to go back and divide this by 12. So I'm going to do divide by 12. Okay, and there we get our 36. When we're getting ready to put this part in the calculator, you want to make sure that all of your previous data is clear. In order to do that, we're going to go ahead and press second stat and scroll over to clear data. I'm going to press enter. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and press the data button. Notice that the previous values we had are gone, so now I can enter my new information. We're going to start with 30, and then when I scroll down, I get 3. Scroll down, 33. Frequency, here's 4. Scroll down, 40. Down 4, down 50, and then down 1. Okay. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and hit that stat vary, and I'm going to wait for it to calculate. I have 12, that's correct, and my X bar is 36. The next type of central tendency is called our median. The median is going to be literally the middle value. So I like to tell the students, remember, if you're going down the freeway, the median is located exactly in the middle. Okay. The first thing we're going to do with these is we're going to arrange the data from the smallest value to the largest value. A lot of students forget this, and this is what causes it to be wrong. Okay. So make sure you arrange from the smallest to the largest. If you have an odd number of data points, you find the one exactly in the middle. However, if you have an even number of data points, you're going to take the average of the two numbers in the middle. So here we're going to find the median. Here are our values. Notice that they're not from least to greatest. We're going to go ahead and arrange that first. 25 is the smallest, 28, 35, 40, and 42. I always recommend counting the values to make sure you didn't miss one. Okay. So every time you take away a small number, you're going to take away a large number. Small, large. The middle one is going to be 35. Okay. We'll do the same thing here. We look for the smallest value, which is 61. And then we have 72, 79, 85, 87, and then 93. Notice here we have 6 values. So if we were to take the smallest away with the largest, and then again, you're left with 2 in the middle. Go ahead and take the average. So you add those 2 up together and then divide by 2. Here, our average is going to be 82. Now, notice it is a value in between these two numbers. So if you get a value that is greater than 85 or less than 79, that value is going to be wrong. You did something wrong somewhere. I would suggest going ahead and recalculating. On this next example, we have a long list of data points. We listed them again in order from least to greatest. Okay. Notice what I did here is I labeled how many data points we had. We have a total of 19, and in order for us to do something this big, instead of going 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, what we could do is find the position that we need. What you're going to do to find this position is you're going to take that number that you have, in this case 19, you're going to add 1 to it. So 19 plus 1 is 20, and always divide it by 2. The 2 will divide it into 2 equal parts, so 20 divided by 2 is 10. That means the 10th position would be the median. Okay? The important thing is always to line it up from smallest to greatest. When you're trying to find the median using a table, it can be a little bit more difficult. Okay? So what we're going to do here first is go ahead and add up how many numbers we have all together. In this case, we would have 18. So 1 plus 1 plus 1, that's 3, plus 3 is 6, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. So all I did was add up all of these numbers, and I got a total of 18 points. So in order to find the position, we're going to do that 18 plus 1 divided by 2. That means we need position 9.5. When you have position with a decimal, you need to count the 9th value and the 10th value. These two numbers is what's going to tell you which ones are in the middle. The 9th number in here is going to be 54. Well, how do I find that? Well, I'm going to go back and add up till I get to the number 9. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So our 9th value is going to be in 54, meaning the 10th value, which is the one next over, is going to be number 55. So once I have those two values, I can add them up and divide by 2. In this case, our median is going to be 54.5. This example is how we would use these concepts in real life. Okay? The table shows the net worth in millions for 10 U.S. presidents from Johnson through Trump. First thing we're going to do is find the mean net worth of the 10 presidents. Okay? So that means we're going to add all of these numbers up and then divide by 10. First thing I did, because I'm going to be using it for the other parts, is I went ahead and lined it up from least to greatest. So we started with the 5, we have 2 7s, a 13, the 15, here's a 20, the 23 right here, 38, 98, and then Trump $3.5 billion. So here's everyone's number. Let's go ahead and find the average. We're going to add all these numbers in the numerator. So I'm going to put parentheses and I'm going to do 5 plus 7 plus 7 plus 13, 15, 20, 23, 38, 98, and 3,500. And we're going to divide that by 10 because that's the number of presidents we're talking about. Okay. When I hit enter, the average is going to be 372.6 million. Okay, that's going to be the average. Part B says to find the median worth for the 10 presidents. So remember, if you have 10 presidents, we can find the median position, which is n plus 1, 11, divided by 2. That means we need positions 5 and we need position 6. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our position 5. There's our position 6. If we add these two up together, you're going to get 35, and then you're going to divide that by 2, which is 17.5. So our median price is going to be 17.5. Okay. Part C says describe why one of the measures is greater than the other. So why do you think this one is greater than this one? Okay. Well, the mean is going to be greater because one value item is so much bigger than all of the other presidents. Okay. The central tendency we would more likely use in this case is going to be the median. Okay, because only one person comes close to this amount, the others do not. The majority of the presidents are closer to the 17.5 million. Okay, so choosing the central tendency is going to be based off the data points that you have. Which one more accurately represents the center. The next type of central tendency we're going to talk about is called our mode. Okay, so the mode is going to be the data value that occurs the most often. So whenever you see MO, think of most. Mode, most often. When we're solving for mode, there can be no mode at all, or the data point can have more than one mode. Okay, so let's find the mode in this case. All right, when we're looking here, we see a 3, we see 2 8s, a 5, a 9, and a 10. Because the 8 comes out more than once, our mode is going to be 8. For part B, we see a 3 and another 3. That means we have 2 3s. We also have 2 8s, 1 5, and 1 9. Because the 3s and the 8s come out exactly twice, okay, our modes are going to be 3 and 8. Okay. For part C, look at 3, 8, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Here, none of these numbers repeat, therefore we do not have a mode here. Our last type of central tendency is going to be called the mid-range. The mid-range is going to be our very lowest data point plus the very highest data point, and we're going to divide that by 2. So in this case, it says find the mid-range, and here it lists all the data. So I went ahead and went through, and I looked at my lowest data point, which is 1. Our highest data point here is 10, and then we're dividing it by 2. So 1 plus 10 is 11, divided by 2 gets us 5.5. Okay, in this last example, we're going to put it all together. Here we're given some data points, and we're going to find the mean, median, mode, and mid-range. Okay, let's start with the mean. We're going to go ahead and enter this into the calculator. I'm not going to use the stat mode. Parentheses, list all your numbers. 52 plus 69 plus 75 plus 86 plus 86 plus 92. Parentheses, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6. So divide that by 6, you get 76.6. Rounding it off, you look at the third decimal place. Since it's 5 or more, you round the second decimal place up by 1. So it's going to be 7. Okay. In order to find the median, we said we have 6 positions plus 1, divide by 2. So here we're looking for 3.5. So we're going to take the 3.5. We can go ahead and just do 1, 2, 3, and 4, these two numbers. Or you can see that if I take away the smallest number with the highest number, and then again, I'm just left with these two values. So I'm going to take 75 plus 86 and then divide that by 2. So 75 plus 86 divide by 2, you get your 80.5. Next, we're going to solve for our mode. The mode is the one that occurs the most often, and here in this case, 86 is the only number that repeats, so our mode is going to be 86. And then finally, our mid-range, we're taking the smallest value, 52, we're going to add it to 92, and we're going to divide by 2. So I'm going to use my calculator. Remember, when you're doing these, always use your parentheses if you're going to do it all in the same line. Divide by 2. Here, our mid-range is 72. Okay, that concludes this section and unit. Please let me know if you have any questions.